SNP in Hamilton.
Clive, serious?
My firm belief is that my job as Prime Minister is to deliver for the whole of Scotland, including
Rearming.
and everybody involved in that by-election. And
For
that is
war
what we have been
with
doing
Russia.
every day of this Labour government. Whether it's the biggest
Prices.
settlement for Scotland under the budget
Nationwide,
since
UK
devolution,
25.
huge settlement.
Like this video, press the thumbs
Whether
up.
it's
That's
the increase in wages in Scotland, or the delivery of more jobs in defence and security. And I'm sorry I didn't do the second half of the question, so I'll try and tie it together, because Scotland has a proud tradition and incredible skilled workforce when it comes to jobs in security and defence. I want to make sure that those jobs are maintained, thrived, and there's more jobs to come, which will happen under the work that we're doing under this review and the increase in defence spending. Scotland contributes hugely to our
So they
defence.
care more about
We're
security,
very grateful
rearming,
with Scotland and
but they
Scottish
don't care about
working
the
people,
hospitals
including everybody here
a lot,
and what they contribute.
or all
And I want to see more
the
of
junior
that,
doctors.
because that is good for the defence and security of Scotland and the United Kingdom. It is good for working people who will have good, well-paid jobs that will then help them and their families and their communities.
But he's
Thank
right about
you very much.
the Reform Party. They're not
Then
trustworthy.
I think I've got Connor next from the Scottish Sun.
They're not
Quite
the
much for
solution,
Scotland.
guys.
Thanks, Prime Minister.
Don't vote for the Reform Party.
As mentioned, Nigel Farage is in Scotland today as well, and on the campaign trail for the Hamilton by-election.
There's
as
no
is John Sweeney.
easy way
if
out of
Labour
this.
lose to both the SNP and Reform on Thursday, which is what bookmakers think will happen, and that's less than a year from the Scottish Parliament elections. And doesn't it mean that that's the beginning of the end for Scottish Labour, Anas Sarwar, and you? And if I can go back to the
Yeah,
defence
it's
briefly
got
as
one
well.
there.
Can I ask whether you fear Russia could really cause an internet blackout and power outages in the UK by targeting underwater cables and bring the country to a standstill? And are you doing enough to stop that?
Look, only Labour can beat the SNP, and we need to be really clear as we go into the final stages of the campaign in relation to that, and we're very clear in our campaign on that. In relation to Russia, look, the threats from Russia take different forms, and we are prepared, and we have to be prepared for all of them.
More
You've seen
eventualities.
the threats to our air and to our water, to cyber, and of course the threats that we see to cabling in different parts of the world, but threats are absolutely clear, and we're working, as you would expect, with allies to ensure that we can protect all of our infrastructure and all of our capabilities.
It's a 5-year
Thank you very
plan,
much. I've
basically.
got Justin, I think, from the Courier Press and Journal.
Well,
Thanks,
4-year
Minister.
plan,
Can I
actually.
ask how today's announcement will benefit workers in Rosyth and the wider Fife area? And can I also ask how this review will help tackle Russian aggression in the far north?
In terms of the jobs, obviously there is the capability that we're currently engaged on. Now that will ramp up with the increase in spending and the recommendations of the review that we will take further. I want that to be, and I'm determined that it will be, measured in good, well-paid jobs in Fife and across Scotland, actually, because never forget the supply chains that are feeding in to the major defence and security sectors, which are vitally important. In relation to, was it Russian aggression, the second part? Yeah, look, we need to be clear, when we say we're entering a new era, the level of threat and the instability is of a different order than all of us have experienced for quite some time now. And that is why I asked for this review to be done, which is I need an assessment of the threats that we face as they are now and as we think they're going to be over the next 5 or 10 years, and our current capability to ensure that our capability meets the threats that we face. And that's what I'm very pleased that this review has delivered today. Our job now is to take that on and to deliver it alongside our long-standing commitment to our NATO allies. Thank you all very much indeed. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you for giving up your time, but most importantly, thank you for the work that you are doing here, because as I've said to many, including those on the subs, on the frigates, etc., they can't do what they do if it wasn't for what you're doing here. All the skill that you put in here, which is incredible professionalism, is vital, because they need to know that they've got the best kit, the best equipment, and they need to know, as you know, that you're standing behind them on the front line. So thank you from me for that. Thank you because they would want me to say thank you for all those on the front line who know that you're standing with them. It means a huge amount to them, and I've seen for myself just how important it is. This is
Basically,
high-skilled,
our
really
security
professional work,
or
but it is also the defence.
its expenditure on
and
the
security of our
NHS.
people. And I just want to say
I don't know
thank
what's
you to
more
all of
important,
you for
guys.
the part that you play in that. I'm very proud of what you do, and I think you should be proud.
But he's right about you. You
Thank you very
form
much.
party.
Thank
They're
you.
not. They're not a solution. They're not the way out of this.
Sir Keir
Crisis.
Starmer, they're setting out how
Where are they gonna get the money
government
from? He's quite
intends
right.
To
There's no
review
vote for the
the
Reform Party.
defence spending. He mentioned there, you'll have
Or the
noticed,
SNP, if you're
the
Scotland or
by-election
whatever.
that's happening in Hamilton this
Thursday.
Thursday, where you can find a full list of all the
Who's
candidates
Scribe
taking
on
part
Signage
in
Evans?
that by-election in Hamilton, Larkhall and Stonehouse on June the 5th. It's on the BBC News website.
Who's Scratch on Signage Evans?
listening